Hello everyone, it's Tim again. I thought I would make another video about car stuff, specifically around my 2017 Chevy SS sedan. This video will be about clutches. I started experiencing trouble with mine as the weather grew colder here. So if you're not aware or haven't watched any of my other videos yet, I have a 6-speed 2017 SS. It's got the LS3 in it and it has a supercharger on it. So it makes roughly, depending on the ambient conditions, maybe 550 or 560 foot-pounds of torque. It makes that, anywhere above 4,000 RPM all the way through 6,000 RPM. And as the weather has gotten colder, the air is more dense, the intercooler works better, etc. The motor is now overwhelming the stock clutch. And I shouldn't complain. I got, 70,000 miles out of the stock clutch. It was one that was never desired or designed for power levels like this. I think it was designed for power levels about half of what my car makes. So I have no complaints about the stock clutch wearing out. That's totally fine. What it did lead me to, though, is what to pick as a replacement. And I thought I'd also make a video about it, since a clutch is often a piece of equipment that we never actually even see, right? We don't see it when it's in use. It's not under a hood. We can't show it off to our friends. When you get it replaced, right, you take it to a shop, they order it for you, put it in, give you your car back, can't see it. So anyway, I had one shipped. I brought it home. I'm going to unpack it, and in a little bit we'll do some unboxing, and then I'll try and show all the parts, what they're for, what direction they go, that kind of stuff. And then maybe some of us will have actually seen what goes into our car for a clutch. Speaking of clutches, though, let me talk a little about my choice. Well, let me start with flywheels, actually. So the clutch that comes in our car stock, and also comes on the CTSV and others, is what's called a dual mass clutch. And so there are two rotating masses, hence dual clutch, one of them inside the other. So imagine a flywheel with sort of an empty space in it, and that empty space has yet another disc that is tethered to the outside disc with springs and some friction material and so forth to provide a lot of inertia, right, with having a lot of mass, to arrest some of the vibrations that come through the crankshaft, specifically torsionally, I guess, right? Because every time a cylinder is on a power stroke, it imparts torque onto the crankshaft, but that isn't like every millisecond, right? It happens as each cylinder fires, and that causes a little bit of angular, I guess, vibration in the crankshaft. So we have like a harmonic balancer on the front of the engine to help dampen some of that, and the dual mass flywheel also helps dampen some of that. Another thing that a dual mass flywheel does is it makes it a little bit easier for like the, casual everyday driver to, pull away from a stop sign or a red light or whatever, just because you have a lot more rotating mass and inertia as you're slowly letting your clutch out to be able to smoothly pull away. I chose to go with not a dual mass replacement. I ended up going with a single mass plain flywheel. What that likely will do is give me a little bit more noise, vibration, and harshness in my driving. That doesn't really bother me, given that the car is pretty rowdy right now anyway, with the big cam and the exhaust and everything. That I doubt that I'll be able to notice any kind of increased vibrations coming just from the clutch or the flywheel not being dual mass. Anyway, that was my choice. From there, I had to go and pick, well, what brand or type of clutch did I want? There's a number of people that make clutches for a car. The ones that it came down to decide between were Monster and Mantic. Monster has many favorable reviews, like on the SS forums and whatnot, especially when paired with like an adjustable master cylinder and a separate reservoir, whatnot, so you can basically isolate the clutch's hydraulics from the brakes hydraulics. Those are combined stock. in the SS. Some people find that annoying, doesn't bother me at all. The Monster Triple is a really good choice, and then also Mantic has a double disc. I think the Monster is advertised to be able to hold something like 1,000 wheel torque. Mantic, I think, holds 850 wheel torque or something like that for the one that I was looking at. I don't have torque anywhere near that. I don't have goals for torque anywhere near that. I don't do any sort of drag launching. I don't do anything like that. I just want it to actually clamp down and hold the torque while I'm, say, on the on-ramp or whatever, getting up to speed, or I have to pass on the freeway or something like that. I don't want me to hit peak torque and it, you know, shoots the red line without actually propelling the car forward. Anyway, so my choice was between Monster and Mantic, and in the end I went with the advice of the shop that will be installing it for me. I respect their opinion and expertise quite a bit, and experience. So I got a Mantic twin disc 9-inch low moment of inertia, I think they call it, replacement clutch. It comes with a flywheel, it comes with a pressure plate, obviously it comes with a slave cylinder, it comes with all the mounting hardware. I'll have a box. It's arrived. I'll bring it around here and unbox everything and kind of show the components, and then hopefully maybe, you know, like arrange them how they actually go in the car, and then maybe some of us will have seen how all the clutch components actually go together and fit in your transmission for the first time. Anyway, let me go grab that stuff and we'll start the unboxing. Thanks. Here we go. I'll open it all up. Ooh, it's a Mantic clutch. All right, so here we are again. I've closed the door. The downpour of rain has stopped. Sun's back out. There's like a lot of background light. So anyway, here we are. Hopefully this is well enough lit. I'll go through sort of all the pieces. So here, the flywheel. This is the side that would face towards the clutch. This side here is the side that would bolt to the actual crankshaft. This surface being the friction surface that the actual ceramic stuff on the friction discs will press against. These holes are tapped, so they have threads in them, and they will support these long bolts that end up holding the entire clutch assembly onto the flywheel itself. I'm going to put this aside for a second. I will actually put gloves on to handle the friction material. I don't want to be the reason that this doesn't turn out to be a really amazing clutch. All right, so this is what's called the cover It has sort of the release spring in it here, obviously. This is the furthest from the crankshaft. I should put some these spacers in. I'll do just a couple of these bolts. So these bolts will go all the way through, 2, 3. Oh, come on. There we go. That's probably good enough. These are sort of standoff spacers that go across here. They go all the way around, of course, not just on the 4 that I put in here. The next item to go on to here is what's called the pressure plate. It has a surface that the friction material, will be squeezed by, and on the other side it has this ring that actually goes up against the cover and the release spring. So it would go on like this. The next would be a friction plate. And so it looks like this. You'll see the ceramic, metallic, whatever friction pads that are all the way around. You'll also note that the center section is sprung. So it is a little bit more user-friendly, and for daily drivability will give, each of these will give just a little bit as I let out the clutch, hopefully giving me less chatter and sort of smoother, gentler daily driving, starts. It matters what direction these go in. I'm not sure if you're able to see, but it says pressure plate side on the middle, right in here. So that would be towards this plate right here. It would go there. Next is the one that's called the intermediate plate. In this case, it's actually relatively thick. A big, kind of a fatty. This will go on top of this. Next will be the second friction disc. Again, the direction matters. I'm pretty sure you can see it says pressure plate side. Hopefully you can. So again, it would have to face this direction. And then this entire package would mount to the flywheel. We could pretend that this is the clutch alignment tool. We could pretend that this is the input shaft to the, it would come in from the other side to be the input shaft from the transmission. So this would then ultimately press on this surface on the flywheel, if you can imagine this being up on the motor and then this being up on, I'm sure you can figure all that out. Otherwise, in the kit, there's a concentric slave cylinder. So this, let me turn all this around. Darn, this is heavy. So this slave cylinder, actually when the hydraulic fluid comes in, I believe it'll come in through here, will press this surface forwards. So it will sit, this is the transmission side. It will sit here, and this bearing will press against these springs, right, to relieve the compression that all of these discs feel to allow the drivetrain to be separated from the motor. So this is the slave cylinder. Kind of cool that they're concentric now and they don't use a fork anymore. This is the hydraulic line, right? It goes in here that connects the slave cylinder to the master cylinder on the other end, right, which goes to the pedal. And then also included in here somewhere, yeah. This guy right here has a rubber cap on it. Hopefully you guys can see it. This is the bleeder. So, because you obviously have to bleed the hydraulics. This may even be called a remote bleeder. I'm not sure. Either way, it's meant to bleed the whole thing. You put your little bleeder hose on here and get all the air out of the hydraulic fluid system. So that's kind of nice that it came with it. Anyway, oh, it also comes with instructions. A nice little booklet, bunch of instructions on, talks about what the runout has to be for this to work well. It talks about push type clutches and pull type clutches. We obviously have a push type clutch because we're pushing the spring down to cause the pressure to release on this, and has sort of step-by-step installation instructions. So anyway, that's all that came with the kit. I'm going to box it all back up. I'm going to take it over to the shop here at some point, and then in the future I think I'll do another video to talk a little bit about what the break-in period was like. I think there's like maybe a 300 or 400 mile break-in period, and then report back on how it drives, how smooth it is, how streetable it is, how smoothly it shifts at high RPMs, right? All of the jobs that the clutch has, and just kind of report back with with my impressions. Anyway, thanks guys. I hope you liked it or thought it was interesting or entertaining or something. See you guys soon.